I want to talk about siblings rivalry a little bit. So let me use the example of Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel in the Bible. So I will read from Genesis chapter 4. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a tiller of ground. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought of the firstlings of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offerings, but for Cain and his offerings he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. The Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is couching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it." Cain said to Abel, his brother, "Let us go out to the field." And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel, your brother?" He said, "I do not know. And am I my brother's keeper?" The Lord said, "What have you done?" "The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground." This is the story of Cain and Abel, the sons of Adam and Eve, as presented in the scripture. And as I said, this might be a little sensitive issue, but it's about the message and the lesson presented here with these brothers. Excuse me. We all come from family, and we all belong to families. It depends on the nature of the family. And if we look at it contextually, different families operate within the different contexts. Africans run our families in a different way. So we have families, we have immediate families or nuclear families, we have extended families, then we have extended families, and then we have extended families, and we have extended families, and so on and so forth. So his cousins, his nieces, his nephews, his uncles, his kindred, his clan, his village, his community, and it can go on and on. This is different from Americans and perhaps other Western world. You have nuclear families, and they have their connections and relationships. And the nuclear families sometimes begin to break out or branch out, and the closeness might also take different dynamics depending on who lives where and their geographical locations. In most African families, at least for the Igbo culture, or from the Igbo culture, we often maintain almost the same compound. What we call compound is that we live on the same property. So that's always the case. But then you have immediate brothers, immediate sisters that come from the same parents. And I think this is where we can focus a little bit, because looking at the nuclear family, you can talk about siblings as children born of the same parents. the pressure or the extension from other families might be different. But immediate siblings and the rivalry that comes from such families can also be a problem. I come from a family of 9, so we are 9 of us. I have 5 sisters, 3 brothers, and we all have our connection as held together by the same blood. So, why do we have siblings rivalry in families, and what causes it? Psychologically, there is a psychologist that is called Alfred Adler. Alfred Adler's theory is called the Adlerian theory. So you can look up the Adlerian theory. Adler is Adler, Alfred Adler. So Alfred Adler maintains that a significant emphasis is placed on the dynamics between siblings and how they influence personality. So the personality development is influenced by the dynamics between siblings, according to this man. And he kind of goes to identify a part of the reason as the birth order. The birth order, that is the hierarchy of age within the family circle. So for Adler, siblings interact, and siblings interaction influences personality development throughout their life. And for him, a child's position in the family influences what happens within the family and the behaviors and the characteristics of the child. So a first son action or character or behavior will be different from last son or last born in that case. So Adler also recognized that rivalry, siblings rivalry, is a natural part of family dynamics, and that there is bound to be competition for attention and for parental favor in family life. And why am I talking about all this? Is because I'm coming back to what happens in the case of Cain and Abel. Cain is the older brother, and Abel is the younger brother. Cain begins to feel like Abel is receiving favor, so much attention, so much recognition. And then Cain becomes jealous to the point of killing the brother. And this provoked God. Some time ago, I've heard people decry the action, the envy, the anger, the jealousy, the hatred, the wickedness that is coming from their brothers in their homes. I have heard people say, I regret being a brother to this guy. I regret being a sister to this guy. I regret coming from the same parents with this kind of person. Why? Because a particular brother does not wish the good of the other. Because a particular sister does not wish the good of the other. Because a particular sister feels jealous and envious. So who told you that your brother cannot do better than you? Who told you that your sister cannot do better than you? And what does that even mean in family setting? A brother should support a brother. A sister should support a sister. But think about it as even being in class. Everybody in class cannot come first or can't take the first position. Everybody in class cannot have A plus or A or B plus or B. Everybody cannot also have F. Some people would get F or D or a B or a C, and some others would get an A plus. But then the person who gets A plus is meant to get A plus for a particular reason. So sometimes this is mostly, I think, is prevalent in African culture, where brothers are struggling over things, sometimes over property. Sometimes a brother is doing something, building a house or acquiring property or progressing, and the other brother is angry, very angry at him. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the Western world. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in America. I'm not saying that. But I'm using the context of the African society because someone or some persons have spoken to me about this. Father, why is my brother so jealous of me? Why is my brother so angry? Why is my brother so wicked? Why is my brother so upset with me because I am doing good? I am making progress, either in my business or in my profession or whatever. So when you have a greedy brother like Ken, what do you do? When you have a jealous brother like Ken, what do you do? When you have an angry brother like Ken, what do you do? When you have a jealous or an envious brother like Ken, what do you do? When you have a brother who has eyes in your business every day, what do you do? You have to, as much as possible, keep yourself safe. Sometimes you make efforts to palliate the situation or placate him, and it's not working. What do you do? My friend, I would say go for your safety. Self-protection becomes important. Self-security becomes important. From a spiritual point of view, you have to keep praying about it. But one would say, did Abel not pray? Is it not God who intervened here? Yet Cain killed Abel. Should Abel have acted differently? We don't know, but there's a scriptural message here. But I want to tell you, if you understand that you have a brother who harbors jealousy and envy and wickedness and hatred in his heart, the best way, first of all, is stay your distance and make sure you are careful even while you pray. But if you are like Abel, if you're like Cain, see what God says to you here. Why are you angry and why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is couching at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. You must master jealousy. You must master envy. You must overcome it. This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. God bless you.